What happens when you mix WD-40 with Vaseline? A simple shop trick, or the slickest homemade lubricant you've ever seen. You know, back in the day, we fixed things with whatever we had on the shelf, and half the time it worked better than store-bought stuff. So today we're putting two classics to the test, WD-40 and Vaseline. One breaks rust loose, one keeps things smooth. But together, well, we might just bring this rusty old bike chain back from the dead. First up, let's get rid of that rust. I pour a little Coca-Cola into a glass bowl, then give it a few sprays of WD-40. Sounds unusual, but hear me out. Coke helps loosen stubborn rust, and WD-40 breaks it down even further, kind of a 1-2 punch for metal that's seen better days. Now, let's build a simple little helper for electro-cleaning the chain. I take an old piece of electrical wire and strip off the rubber coating until the copper inside is exposed. Then I wrap that copper tightly around a pin, just like winding a spring. And there we have it, a homemade copper coil. Nothing fancy, but it works. This coil is going to help us pass current through the solution and lift even more rust off that chain. It's quick, cheap, and surprisingly effective. Old school ingenuity. That's how we do it. Next, let's get our little electro cleaning setup ready. I grab 2 alligator clip wires, simple ones most folks have in a toolbox. One clip attaches to our homemade copper coil. And the other clip goes right onto the rusty bike chain. Where are you watching from? Drop your city or country below. I love seeing this DIY family all over the world. Now for the power source. I'm using a 12-volt battery. Coil to the positive terminal chain, to the negative. Positive means cleaning tool. Negative goes to the rusty part. Just think of it like we're pulling the rust away. Once everything's clipped up, we place the chain in the cleaning solution. And that's it. Our electro rust remover is ready to go. Right away, you'll see tiny bubbles forming on the metal. That's the rust breaking loose. The electricity is lifting it off the chain, bit by bit. There's no scrubbing, no grinding. Now, while the chain is cleaning, let's make a little helper cup. I take an empty WD-40 can clamp it in the vise, and carefully cut off the bottom with a grinder. This gives us a small metal cup perfect for mixing lubricants or warming grease when you need to. It's tough, heat safe, and hey, might as well give that empty can a second life, right? Now let's make our homemade grease. I scoop a bit of Vaseline into that metal cup. Then give it a few sprays of WD-40. Stir it together until it blends smooth, not too thick, not too runny. This combo makes a slick, long-lasting lubricant that sticks to metal and keeps things running smooth. Perfect for old chains, hinges, and tools around the house. Once the electro cleaning is done, I unclip everything and take the chain off the bike. You'll see rust and grime loosened up already. That's exactly what we want. Now, I rinse it down with clean water, grab a stiff brush, and scrub off the remaining dirt and rust flakes. Just one of those household scrub brushes, and work along each link. Slow, steady pressure, back and forth. You'll see the metal starting to come back to life as that surface rust lifts right off. After brushing, I rinse it again and wipe it down with a clean cloth. This step makes sure every bit of grime is loosened before we move on to the final deep clean and lubrication. You'll notice the chain already looks way better, and we're not even finished yet. Now that we've brushed the chain clean, it's time for a deep flush. I grab a glass bowl and place the chain inside, then pour in regular gasoline until it covers the links. Why gasoline? Because it cuts through old grease and oil better than almost anything you can buy at the store. This pulls out the grime that's been hiding deep inside the rollers and plates. I seal the bowl or cover it up, then shake it gently back and forth, almost like marinating meat. You don't have to go crazy here. Just let the fuel work its way into every link. After a good soak and swirl, I take the chain out and wipe it down thoroughly with a clean rag. Right away, you'll notice it looks almost brand new. Shiny metal, no sticky residue. No old sludge. Now our chain isn't just clean on the surface, it's clean all the way through, ready for fresh lubrication. With the chain spotless and dry, it's time to bring it back home. I reinstall it onto the bike, wrap it around the gears, set it on the sprocket, and turn the pedals a few times to seat everything in place. Now comes the magic touch. I take our homemade blend WD-40 and Vaseline and brush a thin, even layer across every link. Work it in slowly. Let it soak between the rollers and plates. All it took was a little patience, some WD-40, a dab of Vaseline, and a bit of hands-on problem solving just the way we like it. If you enjoy simple fixes that save money and keep good tools working, stick around. I've got plenty more coming. Before you go, hit like, subscribe, and ring that bell so you don't miss the next project. And drop a comment. Tell me what tool or trick you'd like to see next. Thanks for watching, and happy tinkering, my friends.